What if the race you're running has no finish line, no victory, no rest? Pause for a moment. When did you last feel truly at peace?
Your mind free from the endless pursuit of more? Was it a brief escape, a rare breath outside the chaos? Or has it slipped so far into the past that it feels like a stranger's memory? Most of us accept this race as life itself, a grueling marathon we're doomed to run. But what if it's a cage? A cycle of craving and discontent that drains you no matter how fast you go. You're not just chasing dreams, you're chasing shadows, clutching at illusions that keep you tethered to restlessness. So let me ask you, with urgency cutting through the noise, are you trapped in a race without end, and how long will you let it define you? Here's the brutal truth, the kind that stings as it settles. The relentless chase for money and status is a snare, a hollow loop of want that leaves you emptier with every step. You know the feeling, the fleeting rush of a raise that dissolves into the next ambition, the thrill of a new possession that dulls before you've even settled into it, the gnawing sense that more is never enough. Each time you reach for the next rung, you're not climbing, you're binding yourself to a wheel that spins faster the harder you try. These aren't mere setbacks, they're symptoms of a race built to exhaust you, a belief that joy waits just beyond the horizon. Society didn't force this on you. You've locked the chains yourself, every unexamined want tightening the grip. Why do you keep running when the track leads nowhere? Your pursuit is rooted in the unconscious, a tangle of fears and needs you rarely face. You chase wealth to fend off scarcity, status to silence insignificance, progress because stillness feels like defeat. Every goal you chase is a link in an endless chain, forged by a mind too busy to question its own captivity. It's not ambition, it's a cycle, a feedback loop of dissatisfaction that feeds on itself, driving the restlessness you ache to leave behind. But there's a way through, a thread of wisdom Alan Watts wove into the fabric of this madness. His call to presence, to see the race for the illusion it is, offers a chance to break free. Most won't take it. They'll keep running, calling it purpose, their piece of ghost they never pursue. You've run too, haven't you? Every time you've chased what fades, every time you've traded now for next, every time you've hurt because you didn't stop. But the race isn't your ruler, not if you choose otherwise. Watts' insight lights the way, a quiet rebellion against the grind. Happiness isn't a prize at the end. It's a decision, rooted in the presence you've let slip through your fingers, the life you've blurred in the rush. To escape isn't to abandon effort, but to reclaim your time, to loosen your hold on tomorrow and stand fully in today. Most won't. They'll grip the race tighter, their fears and habits a familiar cage, too scared to face the freedom stillness brings. You've gripped it too, haven't you? Every time you've chosen more over enough, every time you've let striving eclipse calm, every time you've ached because you didn't release. But that's not who you are. You're a seeker, a spark, a soul that can step beyond the race if you dare to pause. Your life's a race, but you've been the one laying the track, your desire's the engine that drives it. Watts saw it too, a world of mirages where only the bold broke free, their clarity a tool others overlooked. You're in that world. Every time you've let the chase swallow you, every time you've sought the next fix, every time you've stumbled because you didn't let go. It's not failure, it's fog, a refusal to see the strength you carry. The race wants you spent, a cog in its grind, but you're not spent, you're unshaped, a force ready to rise. What keeps you from stepping off and owning your calm? Your first step out is self-reflection, the art of watching your desires without feeding them. It's not about killing drive, it's about understanding it, peering into the urges that pull you. Begin each day with a pause. Ask, is this mine or the world's? Feel it in the quiet, maybe when the itch to achieve creeps in or the pull to compare tugs. Jot it down, what stirs it, how it feels, what it asks of you. Don't resist, don't chase, just see it, letting it breathe without owning you. This practice is your foothold, a flicker in the gloom that shows you the race you're in. Do it daily, and the urges weaken, their hold slipping. Self-reflection is your lever, the kind Watts prized, the kind that lifts you from the race's weight. The urgency crackles now, a charge in the air. Self-reflection is your defiance, a stand against the currents that chain you, a move toward Watts' dream of a self so awake it needs no chase. Most won't fight, they'll drift, their lives a blur of effort they call living, their freedom lost to a slumber they won't shake. They'll ache not from lack, but from blindness, missing the power in their own hands. You've drifted too, haven't you? Every time you've let want steer you, every time you've followed ruts that hollow you, every time you've cracked because you didn't look. But drift isn't your truth. You're a flame, a seeker, a soul that can climb past the race if you turn inward. This is your crossroads, your shot to rise or run on. What's way is open, not in fleeing life, but in shedding its stranglehold, in crafting a path where the race holds no sway. Think of the times you've hurt, the wants that lingered, the needs that scorched, the moments you broke because you didn't release. They're not defeats, they're signposts, urging you toward the strength you've yet to seize. The race isn't your captor, not unless you surrender to it. You're still here, still alive, still carrying a fire it can't touch. So stop today, right now, and pledge to question one want. Note it, see it, vow to know it without grasping. The door's yours, open it, and start a life where the race fades to nothing. The meaning of life is just to be alive. It is so plain and so obvious and so simple, Alan Watts declared, his voice a gentle yet piercing echo amid the clamor of our restless existence. Imagine for a moment that the race you're running, the relentless pursuit of wealth, recognition, and stability, isn't leading you to the happiness you seek. What if it's all an illusion, a fleeting mirage that dances just beyond your reach, vanishing the instant you think you've caught it? What saw through this deception, exposing a truth society often buries? Money, far from being the key to a fulfilled life, is a fabricated measure of value that distracts us from the richness already present within us. Here's the raw, unshakable reality. Money is an illusion, a shadow that pulls you away from the joy waiting silently in the moment you've trained yourself to overlook. So let me pose a question that slices through the chaos. What if the life you're striving for isn't out there somewhere, but right here, in the now you've been too preoccupied to notice? Watts' philosophy offers a lifeline, a stark reminder that the present isn't merely a bridge to some distant paradise. It's the only place where life unfolds in its truest form. The endless chase for more money, more possessions, more achievements, is a cunning trap. It dangles the promise of liberation, only to bind you tighter to a future that remains forever out of reach. You've felt this, haven't you? That fleeting thrill of a new purchase or a hard-earned raise, only to find it dissolve into yet another craving, leaving you emptier than before. The problem isn't that you don't have enough wealth. It's that you've misplaced your presence, the quiet strength of being fully alive in the only moment that truly exists. Most people spend their lives chasing phantoms, caught in a whirlwind of longing and remorse, their happiness deferred to a tomorrow that never arrives. You've been there too, haven't you? Every time you've traded today for tomorrow, every time you've let the present slip away, every time you've yearned for what's next instead of savoring what is. But the present isn't a weight to bear, it's a gift to claim. The illusion of money runs deep, stitched into the very fabric of how you've been taught to see yourself and the world. Society whispers that your worth lies in your bank account, that your purpose hinges on how much you produce or possess. It's not your fault. You've been conditioned to tally your life in dollars and cents, to judge your value by the weight of your achievements. But here's the unvarnished truth. You're not adrift because you lack money. You're adrift because you've forgotten how to live, confusing accumulation with meaning. When you pursue wealth as the ultimate goal, you're not just chasing. You're running away, fleeing from the simple reality that happiness isn't something you buy, it's something you breathe. Watts understood this with a lucidity that's both harsh and liberating. The present is your sanctuary, the only shelter from the storm of endless desire. Yet most won't seek refuge there. They'll float through life, caught in a tide of almosts and not yets, their peace a specter they can never hold. You've drifted too, haven't you? Every time you've let money shape your identity, every time you've swapped time for trinkets, every time you've ached because you didn't stop to see. But drifting doesn't have to define you, not if you choose to root yourself here. Watts' insight is nothing short of revolutionary, a call to wrest the now from the clutches of tomorrow. The power of the present isn't some hollow cliche. It's a discipline, a craft you can hone to unshackle yourself from the race's relentless pull. This isn't about forsaking ambition or goals. It's about grounding them in the moment, letting each breath be sufficient. Most won't take up this practice. They'll remain chained to the future, their lives an unwinnable marathon, their freedom lost to a finish line that keeps receding. You've been bound too, haven't you? Every time worry has robbed you of calm, every time you've chased the next milestone instead of resting in the now, every time you've suffered because you didn't stay. But those chains aren't your fate. You're a seeker, a spark, a spirit capable of transcending the race if you dare to embrace the present. Your life feels like a race because you've been the one fueling it, your wants stoking the engine that propels you forward. Watts saw it clearly. A world of illusions where only the courageous broke free, wielding presence as a strength others dismissed. You live in that world too. Every time you've let the chase overtake you, every time you've sought the next thrill, every time you've faltered because you didn't let go. Those aren't failures, they're a haze, a refusal to recognize the power you already hold. The race wants you exhausted, a mere gear in its machine, but you're not depleted, you're unformed, a force poised to emerge. What's stopping you from stepping off this treadmill and claiming the now as your own? Your freedom begins with mindfulness, the art of rooting yourself in the present without escaping to yesterday or tomorrow. This isn't about silencing desire, it's about seeing it for what it is, observing the impulses that tug at you without being swept away. Start simply. Each morning, take 5 minutes to sit still, focus on your breath, and let thoughts of money, status, or anxiety drift by like clouds without grasping them. Feel the air on your skin, the ground beneath you, the stillness within. This ritual is your first step, a glimmer in the darkness that reveals the race you've been running. Practice it daily, and the pull of those urges begins to fade, their grip loosening. Mindfulness, as what's cherished it, is your tool, a lever to lift you from the weight of the chase. The urgency is electric now, a spark that demands attention. Mindfulness is your act of defiance, a stand against the currents that bind you, a stride toward what's vision of a self so awake it no longer needs to run. Most won't resist, they'll drift on, their lives a haze of striving they mistake for living, their freedom buried in a sleep they won't rouse from. They'll hurt, not from scarcity, but from ignorance, blind to the strength within their reach. You've drifted too, haven't you? Every time you've let want guide your course, every time you've followed paths that hollow you out, every time you've fractured because you didn't look inward. But drift isn't your essence. You're a flame, a seeker, a soul that can rise above the race if you turn your gaze within. This is your turning point, your chance to rise or keep running. What's path lies before you, not in abandoning life, but in shedding its chokehold, in forging a way where the race loses its power. Reflect on the times you've hurt, the desires that lingered, the needs that burned, the moments you crumbled because you didn't release them. Those aren't losses, they're markers, pointing you toward a resilience you've yet to fully grasp. The race isn't your master, not unless you let it be. You're still here, still breathing, still carrying a fire it can't extinguish. So pause today, right now, and commit to questioning one want. Write it down, examine it, promise to understand it without clutching it. The door is yours, open it, and begin a life where the race fades into silence. What's wisdom isn't just philosophy, it's a practical rebellion against a world that thrives on your distraction. Money will always be a tool, but it's never been your meaning. The present, though, is yours to wield, a power that no illusion can steal. Most won't wield it. They'll chase shadows until the end, their lives a gallery of postponed dreams. But you're not most. You felt the stirrings of something deeper, the pull of a truth that's been waiting for you to wake up. So wake up, step into the now, let the race dissolve and live. What if the life you've spent years chasing, the one built on wealth, status, and relentless ambition, was never truly yours? Picture this, waking each morning not to the clamor of goals and deadlines, but to a stillness, a quiet clarity that whispers of a purpose already alive within you. This isn't some distant dream. It's a possibility philosopher Alan Watts illuminated when he saw through the empty promises of society's race. For what's meaning doesn't come from piling up achievements or chasing endless more. It blooms from embracing what's real, right here, right now, within you. Stepping away from the race isn't giving up. It's a bold rebellion, a choice to measure your life by your own compass, not the world's. So let me ask you with a glint of challenge. What would your days look like if you picked joy over riches, presence over progress, meaning over money? Here's the stark truth. The race is a lie, a shimmering illusion that promises happiness but delivers exhaustion. You've felt it. The way each new success fades into a hollow echo, the way every milestone just sharpens your craving for the next. It's not your fault. From the moment you could understand, you've been told your worth lies in what you own, what you earn, what you achieve. Happiness, they say, is just one more paycheck, one more title, one more shiny thing away. But Watts saw through this deception. He recognized that this ceaseless chase doesn't fill you up. It drains you, stealing your time, your peace, and even your sense of who you are. The race doesn't crown you a winner. It grinds you down until your life is bursting with stuff yet starved of soul. You weren't born to be a pawn in this game. You're here to create, to explore, to live with a purpose that's yours alone. Why keep trading your precious days for a prize that crumbles to dust? Watt's philosophy isn't about escaping life, it's about reclaiming it. He didn't call for you to abandon the world, but to shift your gaze, to stop chasing shadows and start living in the light that's already yours. Meaning isn't something you have to earn, or a finish line you'll someday cross. It's here, flowing from the simple, radical act of being present, of being fully yourself. Most people never taste this. They stay shackled to the race, their lives a whirlwind of almost there, and not enough. Their true purpose smothered under duty and expectation. You've been there too, haven't you? Every time you've pushed aside joy for obligation, every time you've let the race define your value, every time you've longed for a life that feels like it belongs to you. That longing isn't a weakness, it's a signal, a nudge toward a freedom that's been waiting for you all along. Henry David Thoreau once wrote, "Most men lead lives of quiet desperation," a truth Watts carried forward in his plea to wake up from the race's spell. That quiet desperation is the unease you've known, the feeling that life is slipping through your fingers while you're busy chasing ghosts. But you don't have to stay trapped there. You can step off the hamster wheel, redefine what success means to you, and let meaning lead the way instead of money. It's not a simple switch, it's a craft, one that takes guts, focus, and a readiness to question everything you've been taught. Most won't do it. They'll grip the race tighter, scared of the quiet that comes when the running stops. You've held on too, haven't you? Every time fear of the unknown kept you sprinting, every time you picked the comfort of the grind over the uncertainty of freedom. But fear doesn't own you. You're a rebel at heart, ready to break loose if you dare. This choice pulses with intensity, a rhythm you can feel in your bones. Your life feels like a race because you've been the one pushing it forward, your wants and worries feeding a machine that never slows. Watts lived in a world of mirages too, where only the bold found freedom by wielding presence like a blade others ignored. You're in that same world. Every time you've let the chase swallow you whole, every time you've reached for the next hit of validation, every time you've faltered because you wouldn't let go. Those moments aren't defeats, they're a haze, a refusal to see the power you already hold. The race wants you worn out, a faint outline of who you could be, but you're not done. You're unformed, a spark waiting to blaze. What's holding you back from stepping away and claiming the life that's yours? Freedom starts with knowing what matters to you, defining your values, and building your life around them. This isn't about swearing off wealth or ambition. It's about anchoring them to something real, letting your deepest truths shape your choices. Try this. Pick 3 values that hit you in the gut, maybe creativity, connection, or calm. Each day, make one small move that honors those values, not the race's rules. If creativity drives you, doodle for 10 minutes instead of doom scrolling. If connection pulls you, call a friend just to hear their voice. Jot down how it feels to act from your core, not your to-do list. This habit is your anchor, a flicker in the gloom that lights up the life you're meant for. Your values are your map, the kind what's treasured, the kind that guides you back to yourself. There's a charge in the air, a call you can't ignore. Choosing your values is your uprising, a stand against the race that's held you captive, a step toward Watts' vision of a life so rich it needs no pursuit. Most won't rise, they'll float along, their days a blur of effort they call purpose, their freedom lost in a slumber they won't shake off. They'll ache not from lack but from ignorance, blind to the strength within arm's reach. You've drifted too, haven't you? Every time you've let desire steer you astray, every time you've walked paths that leave you empty, every time you've broken because you didn't turn inward. But drifting isn't your destiny. You're a fire, a seeker, a spirit that can soar beyond the race if you look within. This is it, your moment to rise or keep running. Watts' path stretches out ahead, not a flight from life, but a shedding of its chains, a forging of a way where meaning reigns. Think back to the times you've hurt, the wants that lingered, the needs that scorched, the moments you fell apart because you wouldn't let them go. Those aren't wounds, they're signposts, pushing you toward a strength you haven't fully claimed. The race isn't your boss, not unless you let it be. You're still breathing, still here, still carrying a flame it can't snuff out. So stop today, right now, and commit to one small choice that honors your values. Write it down, feel its weight, promise yourself a life beyond the race. The door is open, step through, and start living where meaning lights your way. The world stands in awe of a soul bold enough to claim its freedom, unshackled from the chains of an endless race. Picture this, waking each day to a life that belongs to you, not dictated by societal scripts, not carved by relentless striving, but crafted by your own desires and hands. Philosopher Alan Watts envisioned this liberation with piercing clarity, a life where meaning, not wealth, measures your worth. This isn't a whisper of encouragement, it's a resounding roar, a summons to break free from the race's illusion and embrace the existence that has always been yours to seize. So let me ignite a question within you, fierce and unyielding. Can you step into a reality where your value radiates from within, where joy guides your path, and the race dissolves into a faint murmur of the past? Let's face it, the race is a shimmering lie, a seductive snare that dangles promises of fulfillment yet leaves you empty, always craving more. You felt its pull, each milestone grasped only to slip away like dust, propelling you toward the next goal, the next chase, until your days blur into a haze of near misses and unfulfilled promises. Don't blame yourself. From your earliest breaths, you've been fed the myth that happiness is a trophy to be claimed, a horizon forever retreating. But what's sliced through this deception with a truth as sharp as it is liberating? Life isn't a contest to win. It's a rhythm to embody, right here, right now. Most miss this revelation. They keep sprinting, their lives a frantic scramble for a peace that remains elusive, their freedom sacrificed to a finish line that shifts with every step. You've run that race too, haven't you? Every time you've traded the moment for ambition, every time the race robbed you of stillness, every time you've yearned for a life that feels truly yours. That yearning isn't a flaw, it's a beacon, urging you to break away. The race thrives on a subtle theft. It convinces you that worth lies in what you achieve, not in who you are. It's a treadmill with no off switch, exhausting, relentless, and hollow. You've seen it in the moments when exhaustion outweighs triumph, when the applause fades and you're left wondering why it's never enough. Watts saw it too, and he refused to let it stand unchallenged. He declared that the present is where life unfolds, not in some distant victory, but in the breath you're taking now. Yet the world clings to the illusion, too entrenched to question it, too busy running to pause and feel. You've clung as well. Every time you've chased approval over authenticity, every time you've let the race dictate your pace. But that grip is loosening. That ache you feel, it's your soul stirring, calling you to escape the mirage and step into something real. Watts doesn't offer a timid suggestion. He extends a bold lifeline, daring you to wrest your life from the race's grasp. This isn't about rejecting ambition or joy. It's about planting them in the soil of the present, letting each moment suffice. Escaping doesn't mean abandoning the world. It means reshaping it, forging a path where meaning drives you and money trails behind, if it matters at all. Most won't dare this journey. They'll remain bound, too terrified of the silence beyond the race, too tethered to the familiarity of struggle to embrace the freedom of simply being. You've been bound too, haven't you? Every time fear of the unknown kept you racing, every time you chose the grind over the grace of now. But fear isn't your ruler. You're a renegade, a seeker, a spirit poised to break free if you summon the courage. Henry David Thoreau's words echo through time. Most men lead lives of quiet desperation, a sentiment Watts amplified in his urgent call to awaken. That quiet desperation is the unease you've tasted, the gnawing sense that life is slipping through your fingers while you chase shadows. But you're not condemned to that fate. You can step off the conveyor belt, redefine success by your own measure, and let joy, not obligation, sculpt your days. This isn't a simple shift, it's an art form, requiring bravery, mindfulness, and a readiness to dismantle everything you've been taught. Most won't master it. They'll grip the race tighter, mistaking movement for purpose, their freedom buried beneath a lie they won't confront. You've gripped it too. Every time you've let the race define your value, every time you've sidelined joy for duty. But that's not your essence. You're a spark, ready to blaze if you release your hold. This invitation demands more than contemplation. It calls for action, a rebellion against the currents that have carried you. Watts saw freedom not as an escape from responsibility, but as a reclaiming of agency. You felt the weight of surrendering that agency. Every time you've let external expectations steer you, every time you've run faster to outpace doubt. Those moments don't define you. They're shadows cast by a light you've yet to fully embrace. The race promises security, but delivers only fatigue. You're not meant to be a weary runner. You're a creator, a force waiting to sculpt a life aligned with your deepest truth. This decision pulses with consequence, a vibration you can sense in your core. Your life feels like a race because you've fueled it, your desires, your fears, powering a machine that never pauses. Watts recognized this trap, a world of mirages where only the courageous broke free, their presence a quiet power others ignored. You're in that world. Every time you've let the pursuit devour you, every time you've sought the next affirmation, every time you've faltered because you wouldn't let go. Those aren't defeats, they're veils, obscuring the strength you already possess. The race wants you drained, a dim echo of your potential, but you're not drained, you're unformed, a tide ready to surge. What holds you back from stepping aside and claiming the life that's yours? The stakes are stark, remain in the race, and you risk becoming a ghost in your own story, moving, achieving, yet never arriving. Or choose escape, and you awaken to a life where every step resonates with purpose. You've seen the cost of staying, every sleepless night spent chasing, every joy deferred for a someday that never comes. What's urged a different way? Not a retreat, but a reckoning, a chance to live deliberately. Most won't reckon, they'll drift, their days a fog of effort they label as destiny, their freedom lost to a slumber they won't stir from. You've drifted too. Every time you've let longing chart your course, every time you've followed roads that empty you. But drift isn't your fate. You're a storm, a seeker, a soul that can rise if you dare to choose. Your liberation starts with presence, the discipline of rooting yourself in the now, resisting the pull of past regrets or future anxieties. This isn't about stifling desire, it's about seeing it for what it is, feeling its tug without being swept under. Begin each day with a simple ritual. Take 10 minutes to walk, to breathe, to observe the world without the clamor of your thoughts. Feel the earth beneath you, the breeze against you, the quiet within you. This act is your anchor, a flicker in the void that exposes the race you've been running. Practice it daily, and the compulsions fade, their power waning. Presence is your tool, the kind what's cherished, the kind that lifts the race's burden from your shoulders. This path requires consistency. Presence isn't a one-time fix, but a habit forged through repetition. Start small, a morning pause, a mindful breath between tasks, a moment to savor without rushing. These threads weave a tapestry of awareness, unraveling the races hold stitch by stitch. You've felt the absence of this. Every time you've barreled through days without pause, every time you've lost yourself to momentum. What's new? This freedom wasn't effortless. It's a craft honed by intent. Most won't hone it. They'll stumble through, their lives a blur of noise they call progress, their freedom dimmed by distraction. You've stumbled too. Every time you've let the race drown your stillness, every time you've cracked under its weight. But stumbling isn't your story. You're a flame, ready to burn steady if you tend it. The urgency surges now, electric and alive. Presence is your defiance, a stand against the tides that bind you, a stride toward what's dream of a self so awake it needs no pursuit. It's a quiet revolution, choosing depth over speed, being over becoming. You've known the alternative, every hollow victory, every restless night, every moment you've traded for a prize that never satisfies. Those aren't losses, they're lessons, pointing you toward a power you've yet to wield fully. The race isn't inevitable, it's a choice, one you can refuse. You're still here, still breathing, still holding a light it can't extinguish. Here you stand, your chance to rise or keep racing. What's way stretches before you? Not an evasion of life, but a shedding of its fetters, a crafting of a path where meaning rules. Recall the times you've ached, the desires that lingered, the needs that burned, the moments you unraveled because you wouldn't release them. Those aren't scars, they're markers, guiding you to a resilience you haven't yet owned. The race isn't your sovereign, not unless you crown it so. You're alive, present, carrying a fire it can't douse. So pause today, this instant, and commit to one act of presence. Write it down, feel its gravity, pledge yourself to a life beyond the race. The threshold beckons, cross it, and let your life unfold.